This conference will now be recorded.
All right, today is Thursday, September 27th. We have 2 days left in 2 days left of trading in September. And things aren't looking too great. Now, as always, everything we're going to be going over is for educational purposes only. Nothing is intended as any type of investment advice. And I can tell you, I don't really have pretty much any advice for you coming into this pre-market. A few things going on out there, but I mean, I'm kind of reaching on them. They wouldn't be normally something that I would care too much about. So the first thing I'm looking at is BJ's, okay? BJ's Wholesale. This morning, it's got great volume overall. We can see yesterday, it's kind of still just sitting on this downtrend. But the biggest problem here is at this 26 level, we could see we just have a huge mix, okay? There is definitely been more covering that I've seen than there has been selling. But coming over here, we could see, pretty much first to the table, we did have a print at 26 on the bid side, a nice little burst here on the bid, but then just pretty much followed by almost all buying afterwards. So even though we do have those prints, it's just very, very mixed at this 26 level. It's not one of those, definitive levels that's going to tell us exactly what it's going to be looking to do. We do need a better, more straightforward show of hand to come into this thing. And I don't really expect a ton in it, to be completely honest with you. It on average, it moves a little bit, but nothing too crazy. But based off the volume that we see, we definitely should get, a pretty, extended range from what we usually do see. The range is not up yet, but if we take a look over here, we could see our bars are pretty much, right in that $1.50 area. 27.12 low to 28.74 high. Yeah, so pretty much about $1.50 on average. It's just going to be a matter of, once again, of giving a better show of hand. Now, in most cases, as long as I don't care about the covering, but as long as it's getting new selling that's coming back into it as it comes back down to that level. But the biggest problem is that the selling was not, it's new selling, but we're just getting a lot of covering compared to it. So that kind of makes it, like I said, a very iffy level right there. Next thing we're looking at is BBBY. So this is another one that I'm kind of reaching on a bit because, I mean, don't get me wrong, it did take, a decent hit overnight, must have had earnings. And coming into it, I mean, it's just, there's nothing really there that I can see that gives us really any indication of what it's going to be looking to do. I mean, we're sitting in a consolidation right now, which doesn't help. So that tells us that we're going to get a mix of prints, and that's exactly what we've gotten. Just a real big mix. So at that 1550 level, it's going to have to hit and show us something. It did not the first time. Or we're going to have to break out back up towards that 16 in order for us to get something. But until that happens, we really don't have a definitive direction on it yet. And you know what? I'm not going to take a guess. So we're going to wait until we see something that comes out that shows us this is exactly what's going to happen. And the only other thing that I'm looking at, and this is on my side list, and I'm going to give you the reason why, is GURN. So GURN took, a pretty big haircut, down about 70% from the close yesterday, closed at 623. But I'm seeing a lot of selling still coming into this thing, and that's showing us that it still wants to go down a bunch. We did get a bunch of covering as well at 2, but it's another one. It's just a very mixed level. We're getting selling, we're getting buying. So with that new selling coming in, basically what that's telling us is that it is not over yet. So the reason it's on my side list is just if out of nowhere we start getting really, a lot of buying, we could get back up above this 227 print line. There is a lot of room back up towards that gap that we have there. But there's just nothing that's showing that's where we're going to be going. So it's on the side list strictly because of the opportunity that it does have if we could get the buying to pop back up. I'm just not seeing that whatsoever. You can see more and more selling bursts just coming in underneath that 2 level. So not seeing much there. And unfortunately, if you can't short it, there's not really much that you could do with it if a stock is going down besides pretty much just watch it leave without you. And that's what we got going on. So other than that, guys, if we take a look at the scanners over here, it's just absolutely pathetic. Remember, at 10 o'clock, you have the trial in the Senate, which is going to put a huge damper on our expectations of pretty much anything happening. I was looking at HV before. It's just a little too quantity. I just don't really see enough opportunity. It doesn't really move that much on most days. It's got 608,000 shares. That's the only reason that this is going to be put on our side list, is because it's a volume anomaly. It typically doesn't trade almost anything, about 100,000 shares. And today it's already at 608,000. So that's the only reason that I have that I'm even going to, even look at this stock once. We might be able to get that volume to start coming back in, and then be able to kind of push it back up. But we'll see. I mean, it's just not really showing us that yet. CCJ, 210,000 shares, absolute garbage. Made a nice move to the upside, but just nothing there for us. IGC, this is another one where it's it's been moving. We do have buying sitting up at that 4 level, so there's no reason it can't move. It's just in the pre-market, it's not showing us that it will. I am going to keep it on our list just because we don't really have anything pretty much to look at. But it's another one. It's just not giving us any real show of hand here. So I'm not sold on it whatsoever. And then that's pretty much it on our gainer side of things. Now moving over to the loser side, we have GURN, which we've already talked about, BBY, we've already talked about, AAOI, 125,000 shares, but just in a consolidation, not showing anything whatsoever. CAG, 162,000, but another one just not giving us anything. And then DWT is the ETF, and NBEV, I'm pretty much have lost faith in this one so far. Unless it, has some type of change of personality, but nothing in the pre-market that gives me any indications of this thing doing anything. Apple big selling at 220.42. It popped up, should be on the way down. Apple, I haven't really looked at it. I know it's up this morning, but so far I don't really see anything here. I mean, 223.50. It had an ask print, which that's great. But that's about it. Yeah, there's nothing really here that I see in it that shows us exactly what it's going to be looking to do. I mean, if we come back down over here, you could see yesterday at 412, 220.50, it had some prints, but I don't see enough in here. It's just very mixed, everything. I mean, you have a bunch of purple prints that came back in, and a pretty wide range. So this is definitely being reported now, and that's all the way up at 223. The highest would be 223.28, and lowest being, it looks like 222.490, it looks like. Yeah, so either way, I mean, it's within a range. It's just, I don't really see much there that I have much interest in. Apple's going to move today. I mean, there's no question, but it hasn't given us a show of hand yet. Remember, just because the stock's moving in the pre-market, without that show of hand, the show of hand is what's going to tell us the direction and where we're going to be trading it. And I just don't see that out there yet. Anything else out there that we see? I mean, I know AMD is moving a little bit this morning. Let me give a 10-second refresh on AMD. Okay, AMD's moving a little bit this morning. We came back down on really not much. I mean, you can see this bar, it is about 80,000 shares, so, 85 give or take. So, it did have a little volume. It's coming back up, but this is another one. I mean, it's not really showing us anything. We know at 32, we have a ton of buying. Okay, that's what it comes down to. And, as of this morning, the fact that it came underneath, you can see there's not really selling to justify this big move down on such small volume, especially for AMD. Now, it happened really, really early. Okay, so, there isn't going to be, that is an extreme amount of volume for how early it was. But again, I don't see anything here. Overall, we know where the stock needs to go. We're getting some good buying that's coming in towards, we were getting good buying towards that 32 level. It never hit 32, and we got some selling afterwards that's brought it back underneath. But it's just in a consolidation right now. It hasn't given us anything that says definitively, once again, that this is where we're going to be expecting it to go once the market opens. Overall, my thought process does not change whatsoever in where it's going to go. But as of right this second, it just has not given us that. Does this count as a pullback? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, coming down to 31, I mean, the amount of buying that we had in 32, you probably would have expected a little bit more of a pullback, so I wouldn't doubt to see it come back underneath, but I'm not going to make guesses. I can't make a guess until it gives us exactly what we're going to be looking for. All right, so let's get ready for the morning. Remember, the trial in the Senate starts at 10 a.m., so we're probably not going to see a lot, okay? But, for the first 30 minutes, we'll probably get a few trades, but at 10, expect things to really just kind of go into consolidation and sit there. I hope I'm wrong. Hopefully, I am dead wrong, and the market, continues, to trade as normal. I just don't really think that I'm going to be. All right, guys, so let's get ready for the morning, and I will talk to everyone in the chat. Happy trading.